All right, let's talk about a feeling that is, well, so common, but one we almost never talk about out loud. It's that nagging, persistent sense that you're just not quite good enough. In this explainer, we're really going to get into the psychology behind that little voice in your head, the inner critic. Okay, picture this. You're about to send a super simple message, maybe just a text or a quick email, but you stop, you read it again and again. Does that little moment of self doubt, that need to make even the smallest thing absolutely perfect, does that sound familiar to you? Or how about this one? Someone gives you a compliment on your work, something you've put a lot into, and instead of feeling good or relieved, you get this knot in your stomach. It's that classic imposter feeling, right? Like you've somehow tricked everyone, and any second now you're going to be exposed. And then, of course, there's the end of the day when it's quiet. Your mind starts playing the tape back, but it's never the highlight reel, is it? Nope. It's a nonstop loop of every single thing you think you did wrong, every little mistake, every missed chance. So, yeah, let's talk about that voice inside because from the outside, everything probably looks fine. You're getting things done, you're successful, but on the inside, it's like there's this constant low level hum of tension, a feeling that you're always just a little bit behind, a little bit flawed, or that something's about to go wrong. I mean, think about it. You hit a huge milestone, something you have worked so hard for. But instead of popping the champagne, that quiet little voice just whispers, "Hey, you probably just got lucky." It dismisses all your effort and skill and just calls it a fluke. Okay, and here is maybe the most important thing I'm going to say. If any of this is hitting home for you, you are not broken. This feeling is not a personality flaw. It's a strategy, and just shifting your perspective to see it that way, well, that changes absolutely everything. And that brings us to this really powerful reframe. See, most of us think there's something wrong with me and I need to fix it. But the psychological reality is totally different. It's more like this is a survival strategy that I developed and I need to understand it. Because think about it, you can't possibly heal something that you're treating as a personal failure. So the big question is, where does a survival strategy like this even come from? Well, to get to the bottom of it, we have to look at the huge difference between two emotions that we often lump together: guilt and shame. Guilt, is about your actions. It says, I did something wrong. And that's useful. It means you can fix it. But shame is about who you are. It says, I am something wrong. It attacks your very identity. So when you're caught in a shame cycle, making a simple mistake isn't just an oops. It feels like final, irrefutable proof that you, as a person, are inadequate. Which, of course, leads to the next question, right? Why on earth would our brains cook up something so painful? What's the point of this inner critic anyway? Well, believe it or not, it was originally a form of protection. Your brain figured out at some point that being hard on yourself was actually safer than being surprised by criticism from someone else. It's like, if I beat myself up first, then when someone else does it, it won't hurt as much. It's basically a preemptive strike against emotional pain. There's actually a psychological term for this process. It's called introjection. It's a fancy word for a simple idea. As kids, we're like sponges. We just absorb the attitudes, the beliefs, the tones of voice of the people raising us. And that external voice, it doesn't stay external. It literally moves inside and becomes our own inner voice. So here's how that critic gets born. It usually starts with some kind of external criticism. A parent or caregiver is disappointed or stressed. A little kid's brain can't make sense of that, so it comes to the simplest conclusion. It must be me. There's something wrong with me. Then, through interjection, that voice gets internalized. And right there, the child learns this really damaging lesson. Love isn't a given. My worth isn't inherent. It's something I have to earn. So, fast forward to today. How does that old childhood strategy play out in your adult life? Well, here's the crazy part. Our world often rewards the very things that came from that place of fear. It creates this really painful and confusing paradox. And it leads to this massive double standard, doesn't it? When a friend or a colleague is struggling, you're probably full of grace, empathy, understanding. You get it. But when you're the one struggling, poof, all that compassion vanishes. It's replaced by that one single thought: I should have handled this better. And to deal with that impossible standard, we start wearing these psychological masks like perfectionism. Perfectionism isn't actually about the pursuit of excellence. It's about the pursuit of safety. It's trying to be so perfect that no one can possibly find a flaw. And procrastination, it's not laziness, not at all. It's a paralyzing fear that if you actually try and you fail, it will just confirm that deep, dark fear that you're not good enough after all. Okay, so what do we do about all this? Where do we go from here? Well, the path forward is a gentle one. This isn't about waging war on your inner critic or trying to argue it into submission. Healing actually starts the moment you turn towards it and try to understand why it showed up in the first place. And this is the light bulb moment, that harsh, critical voice inside your head. That was never you. It was never your identity. It was a survival strategy, one that a much younger version of you created just to feel safe in the world. So here's a really practical way to start. 3 simple steps. First, just start to notice when the critic's voice shows up. No judgment, just notice it. Second, give it a label. Mentally say to yourself, that's the critic talking. You're externalizing it. And third, and this is the big one, actively, consciously practice separating your self-worth from your productivity. And really, that last step is the whole game. Your value as a person has absolutely nothing to do with how much you get done or what you achieve. Learning to truly, deeply believe that, to make that separation, that is the bedrock of healing. So, what does this healing actually look like in day-to-day life? It's not some big, dramatic lightning bolt moment. It's quiet. It's the small things. It's being able to rest without that crushing guilt. It's saying no to something without feeling like you have to have a 5-point presentation to justify it. It's the quiet freedom you feel when you realize you don't have to perform anymore to feel worthy. So, I want to leave you with this one final thought. After all the years of striving and perfecting and performing and chasing approval, the simple truth is you don't have to earn your right to exist. You just get to be here exactly as you are. And that right there is and always has been more than enough.